Hello students and other viewers of this video. I hope all of you are enjoying your virtual classes these days. Today I am going to explain you a very interesting poem of your first light book of class 10th English. As you see, the title of this poem is Amanda, which is composed by Robin McMaughlin. She is an Australian poet and author of the book for children. Some of her notable works are Hating Allison, Ashley, and People Might Hear You, etc. So the present poem, Amanda, depicts the dilemma of a teenage girl who feels that her freedom is curtailed. It is rightly said by Stanley Hall that adolescence is a stage of stress and storm. In this stage, children become rebel. They adopt rebellious attitude in them. As you are also adolescents, so you will easily correlate this poem with you. So in this stage, children, when you are being instructed by your parents or elders, you feel agitated. At times you get annoyed. You do not like that you are always instructed and rebuked by your elders. So generally, your mothers are the ones who always remain behind you, who always motivate you, encourage you, who want you to make a better person of the society. So simultaneously, in this poem, we have seen Amanda's mother wants to make Amanda a better person of this society. Through this poem, the poet wants to highlight the feelings and reactions of teenager when he or she is being instructed and scolded by her parents or elders. Now let us start this poem. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So, students, this complete poem consists of 7 paragraphs. Out of these 7 paragraphs, in 4 paragraphs, we see how Amanda is being instructed by her mother. And in these 3 paragraphs, which are written and are shown in brackets, you can see Amanda's reaction. How Amanda feels at the time, how she feels, how she reacts to her mother's scolding. Though Amanda is not that type of a girl who directly speaks ill words or bad words to her mother. Amanda does not argue with her mother directly, but inwardly she has very strong conviction. She has very strong inward feelings. She has very strong inward feelings that you can see in 2nd paragraph. Now let us start the explanation of this poem, Amanda. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Let's start reciting a poem with its proper explanation. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. In the first paragraph, Amanda is being instructed by her mother to sit properly. Basically, Amanda's mother wants to make her a decent and sophisticated girl. Amanda's mother doesn't want that Amanda should develop any wrong habit. So, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Amanda is in a habit of chewing her nails. So, the moment Amanda's mother finds her biting her nails, she randomly stops Amanda while saying that Don't bite your nails, Amanda. You should not bite your nails, Amanda, because it is not a good habit, it is unhygienic, and it also shows lack of confidence in you. Amanda's mother wants to make Amanda a confident girl. In second line, don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Hunch means to bend the upper body forward, to bend down in the forward direction. So Amanda's mother asked her not to bend down or not to create a hunch. A camel has a hump. So her mother doesn't want that Amanda should bend down like this. So she should not bend down. She should not move her shoulders in that way, because it is not a right posture. And moreover, Amanda will not look smart if she develops such type of posture. Then in third line, she says, stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Slouching. Slouching means to move lazily. Amanda, whenever her mother calls Amanda, so she comes very slowly and slowly. She moves very slowly. So Amanda's mother instructs her not to move lazily, not to move in that way. Rather, her mother asks her to sit up straight. Her mother instructs Amanda to take up a right posture so that she may look smart and she may look a decent girl. So in the first three lines, Amanda's mother was giving her instruction. Now see the lines written under brackets. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So languid means relax. Emerald means precious green colored stone. So sea was like emerald, and sea was also relaxed and full of peace. Where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid. Mermaid is a water fairy. And drifting means moving slowly, blissfully, happily. So in these three lines, Amanda is thinking. We will discuss about the reaction of Amanda after listening the scolding of her mother. Amanda reacts. Amanda thinks that. This is the imagination of Amanda. She feels that perhaps, I wish. Amanda wishes that if she would be living like a water fairy, if she would be living like a mermaid, if she would be moving slowly or drifting happily into the relaxed and emerald sea, where the only inhabitant would be Amanda only. Amanda did not want any type of disturbance and any type of intervention. Amanda feels that it would be better rather to listen the scolding of her mom. It would be better if she would be living like a mermaid while drifting happily into the relaxed or peaceful and emerald sea, where the only inhabitant would be Amanda only. She did not want to get any type of distraction. Then come on the next paragraph. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Then again, Amanda comes into the reality when Amanda's mother says that, have you finished your homework, Amanda? So whenever you don't complete your work, children, your mother asks you, have you finished your homework? If you watch TV for more than 2-3 hours or whole day, if you involve in playing and watching television, or you remain busy in phone, so your mother definitely asks you, have you done your homework? Have you done all your projects, assignments? Have you learned all your work? So simultaneously, Amanda's mother asks her, have you finished your homework, Amanda? Have you tidy your room, Amanda? Because when you study, you scatter. Students are in a habit of scattering the paper, books, copies and other belongings here and there. So Amanda's mother wants to make Amanda a responsible girl. She wants that she should not create all the mess. She should clean. She should develop the right habit of cleaning up the room. She should complete the work. She should complete the work in time. She should clean up her room. Then afterwards she said, I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Then all of a sudden, Amanda's mother recalled that she had already given her instruction to clean her shoes. So she asked randomly, have you cleaned your shoes, Amanda? I have already instructed you. I have already told you to clean up your shoes. Then again children, see these 3 lines. This is the reaction of Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I patterned soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So this paragraph, children, this paragraph highlights the strong feelings of Amanda. This shows that this line, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern. Pattern means make. Soft dust with my hushed and bare feet. Hushed means quiet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So this paragraph shows the agitation and frustration of Amanda. Amanda is so much frustrated, she is so much fed up with her mother's scolding and rebukes that she is going beyond the limit. She is being forced to think in that way. Though she is not rebellious, she is not saying directly to her mother, but she here emphasizes on the fact that it would be better. This is the imagination of Amanda. She imagines and she thinks that it would be better if she were an orphan, if she were living the life of an orphan. Orphan is a child who doesn't have any parent alive. So she is thinking that it would be better if she would be an orphan, and like an orphan she would be roaming. Roaming means purposelessly roam here and there. Like an orphan, if she would be roaming here and there across the street, I make soft dust with my hushed bare feet, and she would make soft pattern dust. She would make soft patterns with her quiet and bare feet. Without bare feet means without having the slippers in her feet. So she is saying, like an orphan, she would be living, she would be roaming here and there in the street. She would make soft patterns with her hushed and bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. According to Amanda, the silence is golden. She gives preference to silence. She does not want to get interfered by her mother or by her elder. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. She just wanted to enjoy the liberty, leniency and freedom at any cost. Now next paragraph, see students. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me? Just see this sentence. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? Because when continuously from the beginning till here Amanda's mother is scolding her, so Amanda, what does she start doing? She starts ignoring her mother's eyes. So don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Amanda likes chocolate too much. She eats so many chocolates a day. So Amanda's mother warns Amanda that if you keep on eating your chocolates, you will develop acne. Acne means pimples which develops due to oily skin. So adolescents have acne problem. So if you keep on eating your chocolates in this way, you will have your acne, Amanda. Remember, before eating another chocolate, you should think twice that you can have acne, you can have pimples, and you will not look smart. So in all the paragraph, you can see how much Amanda's mother is concerned about her. She just wants to make Amanda a beautiful, smart and healthy girl, an impressive girl. Then she says, will you please look at me, Amanda, when I am speaking to you? So Amanda ignores her mother. Then Amanda's mother asks her to look into her eyes because she does not like that Amanda was ignoring her mother. Then Next paragraph. See. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care, life in tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Now this is the reaction of Amanda. In this paragraph again, Amanda starts imagining. Amanda starts thinking that it would be better that if I would be Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a character in a German fairy tale. So Amanda thinks that if I were Rapunzel, I have not a care. So actually let me tell you the introduction of this Rapunzel character. Rapunzel is a character in German fairy tale. So Rapunzel was being captivated by an evil witch in an isolated or tranquil tower. So without the permission of Rapunzel, even that evil witch could not enter to that lonely tower. And if anybody had to reach to that tower, to that isolated or tranquil tower, if Rapunzel had to fall her bright, long and shiny hair down to call anyone up to that tower. So Rapunzel is saying that I will certainly never let down my bright hair. If I would be Rapunzel, so like Rapunzel, I would never let my long and bright hair down to call anyone, because she did not want to disturb. So Amanda is saying in context of her mother. If she would be a Rapunzel, so like a Rapunzel, Amanda would never let down her bright and long hair, means she would never invite or call her mother, because she is fed up with her mother. She does not want to receive any more rebuking and scolding from her mother's side. Last paragraph, see children. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So again, Amanda comes to the reality. I stop that sulking. Sulking means to look sad. Sulking means to look sad, to be upset. So she said, stop that sulking. Don't show me your bad faces. Don't show me that you are looking very sad and you are looking very depressed. If you show these type of gestures, so people will think that I have nagged you. Nagged you means, children, I have scolded you. So don't take the thing in negative way, Amanda. I am not scolding you. Whatever I am saying for your own sake. So in this way, Amanda's mother is trying to make her understand. And then further she says, you are always so moody, Amanda. You are very moody. Whenever you want, you adopt this type of attitude. This is not a right attitude. So don't behave like that. Don't become so much upset or tense because I have not nagged you. I have not scolded you. I just want to make you a refined and a better person. So in this paragraph, as we have seen, there were 7 paragraphs that is discussed. The rhyming scheme of the poem. The rhyming scheme is, it's A, Amanda A, again Amanda A, then straight B, Amanda A, B, A. Then if we see the rhyming scheme of this second, 4th and 6th paragraph, the rhyming scheme of 1st, 3rd, 5th and 7th paragraph same, which is A, B, A. What is the rhyming scheme? A, B, A is the rhyming scheme of paragraph number 1, 3, 5 and 7. And the rhyming scheme of paragraph number 2, see me blissfully. See, again, see. So the rhyming scheme of paragraph number 2, 4 and 6, C. Now let us discuss the poetic devices used in this poem. See the 3rd line of 1st paragraph. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. See this S sound. Stop, slouching, sit, straight. So in this line, alliteration is used here. I repeat, again you see the third last line of the paragraph. Stopped at sulking at once, Amanda. Stop and sulking. So here again alliteration is used. Alliteration is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of two consecutive lines. So you can see here alliteration is used here, and here also this is example of alliteration. Next literary device what we have is anaphora. In anaphora, words are repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. In line 1 you can see this is don't. Don't is repeated in line 1. Don't is again repeated in line 2. And in this paragraph 3, did is repeated twice in two consecutive lines. So these are the examples of anaphora. Now we have again another literary device, that is repetition. In repetition, you can see Amanda word is repeated many times in the whole poem. So Amanda is a repetition. Generally, the poet uses repetition to highlight the point, to emphasize on something. As you see, the whole poem is based on Amanda. That's why Amanda word is being repeated many times. Then next we have allusion. Let us see this paragraph. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid. The example of mermaid is given here. So when in allusion, reference of a famous or well-known person or creature is being given. So mermaid is an imaginary water creature which consists of half man body, half women body, and half fish figure. So that's why here it is allusion. Then next we have assonance. If you see the third line of this third paragraph, I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So there is a prominence of O sound. Thought O, told O, you O, to O, your O, and shoes O. So when there is a prominence of O sound, that is vowel sound, that is known as assonance. Simultaneously you can see in the next paragraph, will you please look at me when I am speaking to you? Here also there is a prominence of O sound. Then again there is a word silence is golden and freedom is sweet. This is the example of metaphor. In metaphor, indirect comparison is made between two different things and objects. Silence is compared with gold and freedom is indirectly compared with sweetness. So this is the example of metaphor. I hope the poem is quite clear to everyone. If you have liked my video, so please like, subscribe, share and comment if you really learned something. Thank you so much. Thank you and have a nice day.